Hey fam, it's your girl Amber the Alchemist, coming through with some gems from spirit for the upcoming week. Mostly this new moon. I feel this change and this huge energy, and even astrologically speaking, this new moon in Aquarius happening on Thursday is really going to be a reset, an energetic reset for some of us. We have all of these planets in Aquarius, which is the sign of innovation, future forward thinking, not conforming, breaking free from tradition, doing your own thing and marching to the own beat of your own drum. So if you have not been living authentically, I definitely feel like you're in for a rude awakening, maybe a slap in the face. Maybe finally you're like, I'm taking this mask off. No need to code switch anymore. No need to show up differently depending on who I'm around. This is what you're gonna get. Because this is me. So there's this beautiful energy of embracing yourself as a spirit, and embracing yourself fully, embracing yourself wholly. But also there's this focus on relationships. And even when I did the tarot scopes, the Aquarius season tarot scopes, a lot of those messages were relating to the relationships that we have in our lives. So some of them were romantic, some of them were about business partnerships. Some of them were about actual divine union, partnerships, soul family, those sorts of things. And Aquarius rules that. It's very social. So I definitely also feel that a lot of us are going to be starting to think and take inventory about the relationships that we have in our life, who's important to us, and also less about, yes, it's about who is important to us and the things that we value, but it's also about what was missing. What were we doing wrong, quote unquote wrong? What were we lacking, and how can we integrate, and how can we step forward? So if there were certain relationships that you truly value, like this is my people, I love them, I see them, but I just didn't have enough time to commit to them, or I was in my own thing and I really wasn't checking in. Allow this to be a new beginning. Allow this to be a fresh start. For some of us, we're going to realize that those relationships and the things that we value are simply changing. And this is not an astrology reading or anything like that. But just based on what I've been reading and based on what I've been like intuitively picking up on, and what's been coming through in my one-on-one sessions, is this is definitely a time where this new moon is a fresh start, and it's really a new like it's a new moon because it's a new moon. It really is a fresh start and a new beginning for so many of us, and that's beautiful. The other thing to note as well is this Jupiter and Venus conjunction, like, right? So we have Venus, the planet of beauty, aesthetics, the things that we value. That Venusian energy is very Taurus. I also see that the Taurus, I feel like those that are Jupiter ruled, so like Sagittarius and Aquarius, of course, I feel like a lot of those signs are going to really be hit hard during this new moon, or during the cycle of this new moon. But okay, so back to this conjunction with Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, luck, they meet together. They're forming a union. And if I'm not mistaken, this hasn't happened in a really long time. Like, it's been years since this conjunction has happened. So there's also an emphasis on beauty and relationship and the things that we value, and luck when it comes to that, and expansion when it comes to that. So that's why I do feel like even today, like right now, I really felt like embodying that Scorpio moon. I'm feeling like I wanted to tap into that beauty. I wanted to do my eyes differently. So I also see, like, when it comes to those things that are aesthetically pleasing to us, I'm hearing regeneration. Feeling regenerated or regenerating something. That's interesting that that's the word that's coming through. But this is a time where I feel like Mercury retrograde has been so icky, right? Like, technology, miscommunications have totally been on 1,000, but I do feel like this upcoming week, it's going to be a little bit lighter because we're going to have things to focus on that we love. We might get a really sweet text from someone that maybe doesn't usually open up their heart. So I do feel like this is heart chakra healing, heart chakra activation that's also coming through. Even though Aquarius is an air sign, which is all about that communication. But I feel like it's meeting with the heart. So speaking things from the heart, connecting with our heart, connecting with our heart chakra, eating more green, wearing more green, and maybe even wearing more pink, connecting to flowers, rearranging your space, switching up your style, doing your hair. Like, yes, I wanted to give editorial today, so that's what I'm giving. If I wanted to give editorial, that's what I'm giving. And I'm not giving a fuck about what other people think or how it's going to be perceived. Like, that's that Aquarius energy. Like, you feel it, you embody it, and you just do it. You don't second guess. You don't second guess yourself, or there's that lack of doubt. Like, we're gonna be really betting on ourselves. So I wanted to share those like little astrological gems, but I really intended on doing this video. Well, I didn't intend on doing a video, actually. I intended on doing a energetic, like an energetic reflection, right? Like an energy transmission where it was through just listening and through audio. But because this is such like a visual new moon and a visual energy, I wanted to come through and share space with you guys. And this is just coming from the heart. So I am gonna tap in and see what is the energy surrounding us for this new moon, and literally, like, we'll see where this takes us. We'll see what happens here. But I'm excited. I'm excited because I do feel like this is a restart that a lot of us were looking for. I also feel like for those that have been having like tumultuous relationships, romantic partnerships, you might just get lucky like that. I was feeling that energy with Scorpios. I pulled that 2 of Cups energy for that Aquarius season. And this Aquarius new moon with this Venus and Jupiter conjunction, it's like soulmate, soul family, partnership is definitely going to be highlighted. So I wanted to give a little shout out to my Scorpios because I do feel like that is definitely connecting to you guys as well. So we are calling, oof. Okay, full moon is coming through. So it's an end of a cycle, literally. Like, for some of you, it's going to feel like a full moon. So there's going to be this release that we have that allows you to just push forward. I also feel like it's interesting. I'm recording it on the 9th, and I also feel like this is for today. I feel like some of you today, a day or two before this new moon happens, you're going to be doing some purging and you're going to be doing some releasing so that you can prepare for this new moon energy. So the new moon actually feels like, I feel like the days leading up is definitely going to give you like full moon vibes, but I definitely feel like once that new moon hits and that new energy hits, like, we're really going to be getting our swag back. We're going to be getting our energy back, because you also might be tired. You might be feeling a little bit lethargic, but I do feel like once that new moon hits, it's just going to be energetically like, wake up. Wake up. We're up. We're out here. All right, Spirit, can you elaborate on this full moon message? See, strength is coming through. So this also might be for some of you Leos doing some purging. But I also feel like, again, with this full moon energy and releasing with this strength, it's about our willpower and our desire to want to create a new reality for ourselves. Like, yes, new moon energy supports us, but it's really not until we do the work on our end that amplifies it or pushes us and encourages that new energy. Like, if we're not doing new things, then is it really like a new moon for us, right? So I do feel some of us are going to be doing some releasing, cutting the cord, and just saying, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this toxic ass relationship. I'm done with this toxic ass repeated cycles that I have with myself. I'm done with the negative self-talk. I'm done with sleeping on myself. I'm waking up. And that's not, again, it's not just an energy thing. It's about how you embody that and how you take it in. And for some of you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard breaking some of those cycles. It's going to be hard saying goodbye. It's going to be hard creating new strategies and new ways to feel good, because I don't know why I feel feeling good. I feel like a lot of the things that we were doing that it made us feel good on a temporary level, but as far as like longevity is concerned, it didn't make us feel good after a while. So maybe it felt good in that moment. It felt good for the, I feel like it was a lot of temporary satisfaction going on, right? Like you enjoy yourself for that moment, and then you just don't feel good afterwards. Whether it's like an hour later or a month later or a few days later, it still weighs on you and it's still clinging on you. So I feel like some of us are going to be making those sacrifices, and seeing, again, Aquarius, the long-term vision, having that in mind, being able to create those temporary sacrifices, because we know that a year from now, 2 years from now, a month from now is going to benefit us. It's going to serve us. Even if it doesn't feel good in that moment, it's going to be worth it. And I feel like a lot of us are really thinking about the future, or going to be thinking about the future. And that's going to be the thing that grounds us. That's going to be the thing that says, you know what, I want to be healthy, or you know what, these relationships matter to me, so I'm gonna stop playing around and stop sleeping on them. You know what, I love myself, so I'm gonna stop sleeping on myself. It's going to be in those moments where you make that sacrifice with the future in mind, because you know that it's going to pay off. So it's also giving Knight of Pentacles energy. Okay, so that's one. Let's see, Spirit, what other energies are surrounding us over this new moon in Aquarius? I'm also hearing retribution. I don't know why that word comes through sometimes, but and I'm also hearing Condoleezza. I don't know if somebody watching this name is Condoleezza or has an ancestor. Somebody, like, of course I'm thinking Condoleezza Rice, but I don't know her. She don't be, she's not really imprinted in my brain. So I feel like this is a spiritual thing. What other energies are surrounding us over the course of this new moon? Okay, y'all, I just had a vision. And what I just envisioned was an infinity sign. So I also feel like, again, long-term connections, commitments. And this infinity sign is also about recognizing that everything and everyone is connected. So if you have been indulging in any type of selfish behavior, I do feel like this Aquarius new moon is going to zoom you out of your own bubble, so that you can recognize that your decisions, everything that you do impacts someone, if not everyone. Energetically, we're committing, we're setting new intentions, but it's going to be different. It's going to feel different, because how we follow up and how we follow through is going to be different. So a lot of creative brainstorming, a lot of brain dumping, and seeing, and trial and error, and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, rescheduling, creating our own work weeks. This is all about creating innovative ways that support you, that support your career, that support your relationships, your relationship with spirit, your relationship with your family, friends, and of course the relationship that you have with yourself, you have with your body, you have with your mind, and then you have with your soul. So there is going to be a lot of trial and error, and that's where that strength card comes in too, because it's about, the strength is about, of course it's about inner strength, right? For some of us it's about physical strength, so recommitting ourselves to our bodies, maybe doing some different type of training. But the strength card and what it feels like in this moment, it's about having that clear vision and that commitment, and making those commitments to yourself. So some of us are going to be taking some vows over this Aquarius new moon, but also because of that Jupiter and Venus conjunction, Valentine's Day is happening on Sunday. On the course of this new moon, I definitely am seeing relationships being taken to the next level, whether this is engagements, marriages, proposals, things of that sort. Recommitting to your relationships, recommitting to your family, recommitting to your friends. I'm really feeling this energy of commitment and recommitment. So some of us are going to be committing to new things, and I also feel like some of us are going to, it's not even committing to new things, but committing to a different way of doing things. So we also have to keep in mind that about open-mindedness. Aquarian energy is so free-spirited, right? It doesn't follow just one path. So being open to hearing and receiving information, guidance from our ancestors, our angels, those are relationships, those that are surrounding us and supporting us to create these innovative ways, or going outside of your comfort zone or going outside of your normal routine to support your well-being, or to support this next step, or to support this new journey that that we're embarking upon. Okay, Spirit, what other energies? And I'm also being called to share it's rebellious too. So a lot of us have been practicing restraint, and we're just letting loose. Like, we're letting our wild child roam free. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you have like a leash on it, right? Like, you can allow that self to roam free, but as long as you're able to pull it back, wheel that shit back when you need to, so that it doesn't become self-destructive, there's nothing wrong with that. But so about that, sorry y'all, like, Spirit is talking and I know I'm kind of scrambling with my words a little bit. Shout out to Mercury retrograde. But so about this infinity sign vision, right? I had a vision of an infinity sign. So yes, I already spoke about those commitments and that connections, like, but on top of the infinity sign, there was another infinity sign. So I also feel like accountability partnerships is something that might be surfacing, creating new ways for you guys, or you guys as in like relationships, friendships, communities, finding innovative ways or new ways to communicate, to connect, and to commit as a whole, as a collective. So I feel like some of us are going to be creating new group chats, holding ourselves accountable. This is my goal. How can we support each other? What do you need from me? Also, I feel like some of us are going to be having those questions, like, see, even releases at the bottom of this deck. I feel like some of us are going to be, like, linking back up with people that we love, and just having that dialogue about maybe what went wrong or what was missing and what you need. So this is about expressing your needs, but also being open into listening to how you can be a better friend, how you can be a better partner. And some of those things are going to be things that take you outside of yourself, or may not be things that you typically do. But give it a try, give it a shot. This is Aquarius season. Trying a new way doesn't mean that it's the wrong way. You might find your right way through just taking that bet on yourself or going outside of the box. So this is also about being open-minded. Some of us fixed signs might be having some difficulties with that, because we're going to be so fixed in our own routines and rituals and cycles and things of that sort. But I do feel like this Aquarian energy is gonna push you out of that, or at least encourage you to, especially if you have people, especially if you have like Aquarius placements, or people surrounding you with heavy Aquarius placements, or is an Aquarius. Let's figure out what other energies are surrounding us for this upcoming new moon. I'm hearing journal. So new ways to journal, possibly getting a new journal. Message 33, communication, writing things down. I love when this happens. So a lot of communication happening, and I'm a little bit nervous about that, right? Because we got this Mercury in retrograde, and we already know communication has been shitty as fuck, right? But this might not be communication with the physical. I'm gonna elaborate and see, but I feel like this might be communication. I'm looking at this moth, and it's like maybe animals. Maybe you're being able to connect with animals or receive insight from animals, or through plants, or through outside. I feel like it's less of a human thing and more of like a spiritual connection, spiritually. What's at the bottom? Nature spirits. Ashe. So it's been confirmed, y'all. Some of us are really going to be tapping into like the fairies, the divas, like all of that nature energy, earthly energy, going outside, spending some time outside, and being able to get that medicine from those nature spirits. I felt it. I love those confirmations. So can we elaborate on this message? Yeah, so we have that message with the nature spirits, and then we have this Seven of Pentacles with the World in reverse. Message just came through so clear that a lot of y'all are gonna have to finish what you start. Finish what you start. There's something valuable that you've been working on that you're thinking about giving up, or you're not quite at the finish line yet. And it's going to be through this Aquarius new moon, whether it's a new connection that helps tie it all together and bring it all together, or a new idea, or a new creative way to put it out into the world. Do not give up. I've been chanting a lot about recommitment, right? But I do feel like some of us are going to be taking inventory of the things that we have, the things that we value, the relationships that we've acquired, the extra baggage we've acquired, the weight that we've acquired, the people that we've acquired, like all of those tangible things, the clothes, all of that. And it's all about taking inventory. We're really going to be called to take inventory. And I also feel like some of that release, we're going to be called to like leave it at the crossroads. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. Take it to a shoe. You already know. I'm not going to dive too deeply into that, but those who know or have felt that, definitely do so. I do feel like this this new moon is definitely going to be getting some signals or signs that it's time to let some things go. It's time to try a new way of doing things. Something wasn't working for you. There's a pause. And I do feel like a lot of us have been frustrated about something not working. And it's not about what you were doing is not working. It's about the how. So a lot of us are going to be redefining what that how means to us. How we get it done, how we perceive things, how we retrieve things is also what I'm picking up on. So I feel like some of this insight and messages are going to come through connecting with nature and grounding ourselves in nature and connecting with those energies. Okay. So I do want to see, like, that's the energy surrounding us, but okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective for this new moon in Aquarius? I'm hearing a new cycle begins. So I'm also getting like Wheel of Fortune energy, which could be a good thing, but it could also be a not so great thing. It depends on how you've been living your life. It depends on your relationship with karma, your belief in karma. I believe in that shit. So, you know, the energy you put back is the energy that you receive. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective for this new moon? I'm hearing new traditions. And I feel like those new traditions are what's going to hold us accountable in our relationships. So just as I was saying, like these new group chats and things that we're going to be inspired to do so that we can stay connected with the people that we love, I feel like there's going to be a tradition that blossoms from that further holds further holds us accountable and connects us to one another so that we can remain consistent. Those commitments, the infinity sign is going to be important for some of y'all too. Y'all might be getting like infinity sign tattoos with like your bestie, some maybe infinity sign necklace or something with infinity. I feel like maybe what I'm also picking up on with this new commitment, some of you guys might be getting a new car and a new infinity. So let's see, Spirit, what messages? Okay, this is coming through. So this Five of Swords is coming through. So there's definitely some disappointment. And again, this disappointment is about how like it's not that you did something wrong, it's about how you did it that wasn't working. So some of you are going to be a little bit discouraged, feeling a bit discouraged about how certain things played out, kind of going over it in your mind. Take it as a lesson. Just take it as a lesson. Ooh, this just flew out. 8 of Pentacles. So something that you were really focusing on. This 8 of Pentacles is all about mastery. Some of us are going to feel like we hit a brick wall because we've really been excuse me, we've really been committed to something. We have really been in our studies focusing on our path, focusing on one specific outcome, one way of doing things, and it's just not happening. It's not unfolding. Like you're working, or I'm also feeling like you're not retaining anything. So some of us are also, this is connecting to our studies, whether this is in school or you're doing your own, practicing your own studies. It's like you're taking on all of this information, but you're not really receiving it. It's not really sticking to you. And that's because you might have to do it, find a new way to do it. Taking a little bit of information at a time, applying it, integrating it, and then taking it the next step forward, which is what I find works best for me. So I do feel like when it comes to our work and when it comes to our career, some of us are going to be finding different ways to hone in on those gifts and hone in on those strengths that doesn't feel strenuous to us, but also doesn't put too much mental pressure on us as well. So delegating our tasks based on certain work weeks, maybe on Mondays and Wednesdays, that's when you answer your emails or do like your more logistical work. I feel like a lot of us are gonna be called to do things differently. Because we've already put in the work, right? Like you've already been committing, you've been putting in the work. Spirit sees it, but that resistance that's being met is because you're just being called to change the how. So stepping out of our routines is going to be so important to us over the course of this new moon. And if you're not flexible, the world is at the bottom. The Chariot is at the top. So we definitely, I also feel like some of us might be seeing 777, the number 7. It's a divine number, right? So this is all about divinely inspired action. Like you're going to, Spirit is going to be talking to you and telling you what to press go on. And it's not that you weren't going before, you were already moving, but you were just, you're steering it in a different direction, allowing Spirit to lead you. Like when I think about this Chariot card, damn it, it went away. But when I think about this Chariot card, there's this energy of being divinely guided and having that willpower. So again, strength, willpower is also coming through as well when it comes to those commitments. But the Chariot is not really, it's focused and it's moving in a direction, but that direction is like, they're not the ones steering the wheel. The divine, Spirit, angels, ancestors, those are the ones that are steering the wheel. So I feel like with that message, some of us are going to be connecting to our angels, our ancestors, and our guides. Maybe those that were really connected to the land, maybe going to the land or honoring them through the land in some way, shape, or form. Some of us are going to be called to actually go to the cemetery to connect with our angels, ancestors. That message just came through so quickly and I forgot. Oh, okay, sorry. Again, scattered information. But we're going to be more flexible when it comes to receiving guidance. Be more flexible when it comes to receiving guidance. Your way is not the only way. Just because your way worked from 2016 to 2022, well, that just shows where I'm at. From 2016 to 2022, that doesn't mean when 2023 hits that you have to still stay in that same path, or you have to still keep going and doing it that same way. Some people are like, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. But that's not really what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like anything can be improved, anything can be amplified, and that's why these relationships that are valuable to us are really taking a toll and being kind of ushered into the front, because it's going to be through that support where we can be open and be flexible and be encouraged through this new direction, whether it's through those actual people that are in our lives, or we have this new way of doing things and we just need that actual support. We need that team cheering us on. We need to be that to people. So there's definitely that message of being completely flexible and doing new things. So new routines, new rituals, new ways of connecting, new ways of how you receive information as well. So being a better listener is also coming through. Okay, Spirit, what other messages do you have for us for this new moon in Aquarius? Three of Wands. Follow your fire. Follow your fire. Some of us are going to be called to really explore and travel and get outside of literally get outside of our comfort zones. This Three of Wands energy is all about exploring. It's all about just following that nudge or that tug from spirit and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. Like, what can I lose? What's the possible worst outcome? The worst thing that somebody can say is no. So this is also going to be in pursuit of our passions, in pursuit of the things that fire us creatively. Some of us are creatives and we've been expressing ourselves through one specific medium. This new moon in Aquarius is really where you start to open up a little bit more and see how you can use that creative outlet, how you can either amplify it or how you can integrate something new. So this could be a new creative pursuit that some of us are going to be introduced to over the course of this new moon in Aquarius. And because you've become like a master in one thing, I feel like you're gonna get in your head. I don't know if I should take this new route. I don't know if I should take this new direction. And spirit is just like, go for it. You've already done. For some of you guys, it's gonna be you've already. It's like I'm hearing you ran out of resources. So for some of you guys, this might be divine timing. If you're an artist or if you're like into ceramics or whatever the case may be. Like, you have your tools. I feel like you're running out of tools and you're deciding if you should reorder some of those tools. I feel like this is very specific. You're deciding if you should reorder some of these tools, and your answer is going to be no. Like, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try a new medium. So if you've been running out of like your supplies, about your tools, how it relates to your creative passions, your creative endeavors, the things that make you feel things, like the things that really make you feel and bring you joy and bring you excitement, you can get that through a new medium or through a new channel. And this Three of Wands is just further supporting that. Three of Wands and the King of Swords is like kind of reverse. So it just shows that indifference. Like, this is not about looking at the facts. This is about following the fire. This is not about like doing what makes the most sense, but what feels the best. Again, like that energy of feeling is really coming through. So that heart chakra energy, even here, Four of Pentacles, like we're wanting to hold on to these things, and spirit is just like, bruh, try something different. Do it a new way. Like, I even feel like some of you guys have passions that you have and you've been working on and you're amazing at it, but you still haven't put it out into the world. You still haven't made it known, like, this is what I do. And your people, your core people that are surrounding you, your family, your friends are just like, bruh, like, why have you not shared this with people yet? Why are you still clinging on to it, still holding on to it? Because logically in your mind, it doesn't make sense for you to take this path. It doesn't feel cohesive is what I'm hearing. It doesn't align, but you can create, don't be too contrived about your vision and about, not really about being contrived about your vision, but just how you present yourself. Present yourself authentically, not about how it looks and how it's going to be perceived. None of that shit matters. What matters in this moment is about you choosing your joy, following your joy, and doing what feels good, and honoring yourself and honoring your relationships in those ways. So if you've run out or if you hit a wall regarding one thing, it's just a nudge from spirit to say maybe you need to try things differently. Maybe you need to take a pause and revisit it at a later date. Maybe it's also not time. So I want to pull a message and ask spirit, how can we okay, I'm gonna do this a few different ways. This is what I'm gonna call in like the elementals. We got the earth signs, the fire signs, the water, and the air signs. And I am going to ask spirit, like, how can we care for ourselves and our relationships with this new moon energy? So fire signs, how can fire signs, I don't know why I'm feeling fire sign, maybe because I'm fire, but fire signs, well, air wants to go first, but it's going to be fire. So fire signs, how can fire signs care for themselves and their relationships over this new moon? Wisdom. Wisdom. We and you do not have all of the answers. This new moon is where we really begin to start integrating and connecting with elders and connecting to the lessons and sharing our experiences with other people and learning from those things. This is about wisdom, integrating wisdom from all different people. I feel like also fire signs, you might be connected to an owl or what that owl represents. So I'm going to just elaborate. Let's just channel. Spirit, let's elaborate on this wisdom card for fire signs. I feel like a lot of us are going to be connecting with our family, our soul family, our communities in a way where we're bringing like what we've learned. So I also feel like this is a vulnerability that is being extracted for us over this new moon, because it's going to take for us, it's going to require us to do some self-reflecting. And because we're fire signs and we want to go and we want to initiate and we want to follow that fire and do all the things, this new moon in Aquarius is almost going to pull it back, and so that we can do some reflecting. And that's going to be really where our medicine for this new moon comes in. Spirit, can you elaborate on wisdom for fire signs? Queen of Wands and Two of Swords. Queen of Wands and Two of Swords. That self-reflection, I feel like that self-reflection is going to help some of us pivot. Certain things may not have made sense to you, or you needed clarity, but it wasn't even that deep. I'm feeling like as soon as you sit down and reflect and think about what makes the most sense, it's going to be easier for you to step up and make that decision, fire signs. It's not even that deep. It just requires self-reflection and requires sitting your ass down and thinking and journaling and receiving that. So I also feel like some of that wisdom is going to also come through from previous journals as well, because I did feel that journal energy coming through. So that might be for fire signs. So that's our message for fire signs. So we're calling on the air signs. How can our air signs better care for themselves and their relationships over this new moon in Aquarius? I'm hearing restoration. Perspective. So how we are going to air signs, how you're going to be called to care for yourself and your relationships is shifting your perspective. So this is, again, like I'm getting hangman energy, seeing things from a different lens And that's why this importance of relationships and tribe and community is coming through, because we need those things to ground us. We need those people to allow us to take us outside of our bubbles and see things from a different light. Bring something new to the table that maybe you were missing, maybe you just weren't able to see, but you won't get that extra insight unless you're leaning into yourself. So tuning into yourself, asking your higher self, getting perspective, a different perspective from your higher self, from your guides, but also in the relationships that you have, allowing them to come through and deliver insight and wisdom again to you. It's all about doing things differently, thinking differently. And I feel like some of our relationships, air signs, are going to help you. I feel like you might be the one that's bringing that different perspective. You're the one that colors outside of the box. You're the one that does things a little bit different, because just your mind, the way that your mind is wired, you just connect dots a little bit differently. And I feel like the people around you need that. And I also feel like you need to apply that. So I do feel like some of you guys are going to be sharing your perspective and giving some insight with your friends and your family. But I also feel like it's going to be so resonant for you. You're going to be taking your own advice. Okay, Spirit, can we elaborate on this perspective as it relates to air signs? Temperance and Page of Cups. It's about that balance. I also feel like air signs, there might be a Sagittarius. This might be a Sagittarius ancestor or a Sagittarius friend who comes through. You might be the one that comes through with those words of wisdom or provides that different angle or different view or different lens. But I feel like maybe connecting to the Sagittarius, it will be the medicine that you need and that you actually didn't expect, because we do have this Page of Cups energy, but it's beautiful. And it's not to say that you completely adopt what people share with you. This Temperance is all about imbalance and moderation, and again, divine integration. So for you guys, the air signs, this new moon is definitely going to be about receiving things, how you receive and what you receive, and being willing and open to integrate it. So next we are going to do water signs. Actually, yeah, let's do water signs. Okay, Spirit. So how can water signs care for themselves and their relationships during this new moon in Aquarius? Okay, two things just came through. Cleanse and gift. So a lot of this releasing is connecting to water signs. So this is definitely connecting to the Scorpios, the Pisces, and the Cancers. That full moon energy of release is really applying to you guys and shedding that old skin. Cleanse is also about like cleansing yourself, cleansing your timeline. I feel like some of you a lot of y'all are empaths, and you're also just water signs. So you're intuitive and you're energetically sensitive. And I feel like you're hitting that breaking point where, sorry, something happened, divine intuition, but you're starting to notice how those energies are taking a toll on you, how they're impacting you, how heavy they feel. And I do feel like once you're able to release, once you're able to cleanse, remove the toxicity from your life, literally take a bath. Once you release that, and this could also be friendships as well. Some of you guys are going to be releasing, it's like you're going to be cutting off a friend, and then as soon as you release that, someone else comes to the spotlight, or you're going to be granted this gift. So let's see. Spirit, can you elaborate on this cleanse and gift as it connects to these water signs? I'm hearing, and it's ancestral. I'm hearing it's ancestral. So some of us are, I feel like some of y'all water signs are going to be connecting to your ancestors, or this gift is going to be given through an ancestor. Maybe the energy surrounding you is so dense that you have ancestors or guides that are trying to connect with you, but you're not able to feel and to receive because you're so energetically sensitive. Things are going to be heightened for you. So I feel like this gift is this a new bond with an ancestor, a new bond with a guide. The Tower and the Star. Wow. So very seldom do we have these cards that kind of follow after each other. So even in the tarot, that you have the Tower, which is about that unexpected change, that shift where shit just goes down. But this could also be an epiphany as well. It doesn't have to be so tangible. But I do find a lot of the cases, this Tower energy is just like disruptive. So that could also be coming through with that cleanse energy, clearing out that disruptive energy. But it's so beautiful because you have cleanse, like once you cleanse and release, there's this gift being brought to you, being provided to you, this connection, I feel like. So with that Tower and that release, the Tower is again release, it's cleansing. Tower literally takes everything that you have and just, it's like when you're playing Jenga, like once you and when you're playing Jenga and once you remove that piece, everything else falls down. So I feel like some of you guys are going to be removing something, and things just completely change. It's not going to feel good because it's just not what you're used to. It's not what you're accustomed to. But this Star card complements that gift. So this could be in connection to an Aquarius, or this could just represent Aquarius season, your faith being restored, having trust in the divine process. Some of you water signs have really been through some shit. And I do feel like this Aquarius new moon is going to bring you closer to spirit. It's going to bring you closer to your guides. You're going to develop, that gift is going to be through that spiritual connection. But it could also be in the form of an Aquarian person that is in your life coming through and kind of being that light for you. This gift is the light. So things have been dark. Things are being purged right now. People, things, places are being removed from your life. Things are being removed from your path, and from your past, clearly. But this gift and this Star is so beautiful because it's affirming that, it's affirming reconnection. When you have that Tower energy, there's a disconnect, there's a pull, there's this release. Same thing with cleanse. But once you release and once you let go, Spirit is able to pour into you. Spirit is able to like regenerate you. And that's where this gift is coming through. So things might feel heavy, or things have been pretty heavy, but this new moon in Aquarius for y'all water signs is going to be a lot of relief. I feel like I definitely feel called to just pull one more message for y'all because you need it. I am the loving energy of the universe. And that's it. You are the loving energy of the universe. And with loving energy in the Tower, I feel like a lot of us have been pouring our love into the wrong things, into the wrong places. And that's why shit is kind of frantic right now, because you're starting to recognize your worth. You're starting to recognize that that it wasn't serving you, that person wasn't serving you, that thing wasn't serving for you. And it's like, it's easy to get willed into that victim mode, right? About how things constantly happen to you, how you're constantly having to experience these obstacles, how you're constantly having to like go through all of these things to experience love, to experience worthiness, is what I'm hearing. And this Star and this gift, and I am the loving energy of the universe, is affirming that to continue to walk in that light, to continue to walk in that path with love, and your guides are here to provide something to you, whether this is a new connection, a new blessing. And what's also so beautiful about like this mermaid, so some of you guys, some of you water signs are also connected to like your water deities. You're connected to the Oshun, Yamoja, Mami Wata, Olokun, those energies. So going to, if you are someone who practices ATR, literally going to the river. And I feel like this came through in a message for the ancestral reading. So if you guys didn't do this, I feel like this came through in the flower agate pile. But going to the river and connecting and allowing them to cleanse you. So working with water also to cleanse you, and allow that to be a gift. So as I was going to say, with this gift card, this little mermaid has a little star hair clip. This is also about divine timing. So this gift and what's being ushered into your life is at the right place, the right time. Don't question it, just receive. You are the loving energy of the universe. Okay. I felt like I really needed that. I hope you did. Let me know if those messages resonate. And I am going to do Earth. So for our Earth signs, Spirit, how can our Earth signs better care for themselves and their relationships over this new moon in Aquarius? I'm hearing doctrine, and I don't know what that means, like how this applies to you. Maybe there's something that you're reading that you're going to be applying to your life. Okay, Spirit, what message do you have for these Earth signs with this new moon? You have Gaia. It's so interesting, Earth signs, that that I pull Gaia, which is all about that earthly energy. You have all of the elements here. You have the fire, you have the sun here, you have the actual earth, the ground, you have mountain. All of those elements are within you. I feel like the people, I don't know, I'm like starting to tear up, but I feel that that you haven't been, well, and grounding is at the bottom. So I was about to say, I feel like there hasn't been your relationships haven't been grounded. Or people haven't been grounding you. You haven't been showing up fully. I feel like you are going to be taking inventory of what grounds you. The things that make you feel secure and the things that bring stability and security to you, that's a signal that you need to keep it in your life. If those things don't make you feel secure, if you don't feel that connection, if you don't feel that resonance, then it's going to be time for you guys to release. And with this Gaia energy, I feel like there's this universal energy about seeing everything, seeing yourself in everything and in everyone. So what I'm also picking up on is empathy. And I also feel like Earth signs, because you're so grounded, I feel like you guys are the ones that show up differently in your relationships. I feel like you might have one friend that needs a little bit more nurturing, and that's where that water energy you tend to embody. You bring that compassion and that love. I feel like for some of your relationships, I feel like for your fire signs, for your fire sign friends, or for your fire sign community, they're dreaming and they're really great with these ideas and creativity, but you're the one that helps cement them and plant those seeds into the ground. I feel like you're going to be shown how all of these dynamics are connecting to one another, but also about how you show up for each person in your life and what they need and what you need from them, but more so what they need. I'm getting a lot of catering energy. And it's not that you have to do the most, it's just because you're grounded and you're composed of like all of these different elements. You're able to give, being able to give a little bit more in one area. It's like, it's nothing. It's just, it's who you are. It's really more so just about embodying that energy when you feel like it. I am feeling called to read this Gaia message. You are being called to nurture the connection that you have with the sacred in your life. This card is also a call to arms for sacred earth warriors or who are protectors of the animals, children, and all living things on Gaia. This is also a card of self-care and nourishment. So with this 4 elements energy that I'm picking up on you guys with these earth signs, it's about seeing what's missing. Connecting with the elements are going to be really important to you. So if there has been an imbalance, this is going to be where you bring some of that balance back. Where if you haven't been taking your baths, you haven't been connecting with the water, now you're seeing how you felt when you weren't doing it, and now you're going to integrate more of it and see how you feel, and you're going to see how it nourishes you. So I feel like connecting with the elements is definitely going to be a huge thing for you. How you nurture yourself and how you connect with your relationships. So one last message I do want to pull. I want to pull some wisdom from our elevated ancestors. I'm going to use my Grandmama Baby Lenormand deck. And what message do our elevated ancestors have for us for this new moon in Aquarius? I'm hearing transmitting guidance. I feel like some of us aren't even connecting with our ancestors. We're going to be connecting with like, okay, so this affirms it. We're going to be connecting with like our children and the guides, like the predecessors, like those who will come after us. So not those who came before us, but those who came after us. And that just affirms that future forward thinking. Like we honor our ancestors and we love our ancestors, but I do feel like some of us are going to really be focusing on the legacy and the impact that we have for the generations that come after us. And I say this, I'm kind of tripping out because the child is coming through at the bottom. So I also feel like some of you guys might be pregnant. Some of you guys may be intuitively connecting with children or a child that you haven't yet had, maybe connecting with your dreams. Nothing is off limits. So with that message, I'm going to just pull one other card. Can we elaborate? What wisdom and guidance can our ancestors share with us during this new moon in Aquarius? I'm hearing Stockton. I don't know if that's someone's last name. Stockton. The Princess of Cups and the Princess of Swords. So I definitely feel like the ancestors that we're going to be connecting with are women. We're definitely doing some divine feminine connection. I feel like on one side we're connecting with a woman or women in our lives that were water signs with this Princess of Cups energy. And then on the other side, we have the Princess of Swords, was the air sign. I do feel like we're connecting with women who were young or passed away at a young age. So if you have an ancestor who was like a water sign or an air sign who passed away at a young age, and even with that child energy, I do feel like they have some insight or some messages for us. But also with this Princess of Cups energy and this Princess of Swords energy, our ancestors are bringing us like that first step. I feel like our ancestors are helping plant the emotional seed and also plant a seed within us, like that drives a specific feeling that makes us feel good, but also planting an idea in our head. And it's going to be like through that feeling that we want to pursue more, and through that thought we're going to want to pursue more. So I feel like our ancestors are going to be planting some seeds in our head during this, in our head and in our heart, this new moon in Aquarius. So some of us are also going to, yeah, Knight of Wands literally just flew out. So a lot of creative energy that's coming through with our ancestor divinely. I feel like they might, like, this Knight of Wands energy is so quick. So this could also be a fire sign ancestor that shows itself, says what it has to say, feels, gives you that feeling that you need to feel, and then dips the fuck off. Don't try to like bring them back. They've already delivered what they need to deliver. And I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it there because I kind of went off in this video. But I love you guys, and I felt like these messages were so necessary. And I hope that when you watch this, you receive it with love, because as always, that's all I have for you guys. If you feel called to, you can book a one-on-one session with me on my site, amberthealchemist.com. You can shop my conjure shop. And I'm also doing ancestral sessions as well. If you guys are looking to connect with your ancestors through this way and receive some healing or some insight and guidance from your ancestors, I'm here. I love you guys, and happy new moon.